Let's go, gente. Todos pendientes, todos activos. Voy a tratar de traducir lo más rápido que pueda. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
Let's go!
Welcome to GGG Live. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Settlers of Kalguur, which launches next week on July 26th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Corsair back attachment. In today's stream, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Settlers of Kalguur Challenge League. We'll cover the league mechanics, its new and revised crafting system,
what is this?
A new trade market system for currency, some
New
sweeping
trade
balance
market
improvements,
system para
including
currency.
Ascendancy class changes, endgame improvements, some further additions to the
Endgame improvement, campaign
and some
improvements, quality of life.
features. We'll then talk about our console-native port releases and the features that come alongside them. Finally, we'll show you our new supporter packs, ending with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of
El futuro es hoy.
Mark your
El
questions from
futuro
Twitch chat.
es hoy.
After the live stream, we'll drop the full patch notes. I'll hand
No
over
puede
to Mark
ser,
now
man.
to introduce the new league.
We've really innovated with the content in this league, and I'm really excited to see
No,
what
innovamos
everyone
mucho en el
thinks.
contenido de esta liga.
So let's just get right into it with the trailer for Path
Este
of
es el
Exile,
trailer.
Settlers of Kalguur.
Let's go. Vamos a saltar esto y mostrarme lo del mercado de currency, por favor. Bueno, tengo miedo, literal tengo miedo. ¿Cómo me voy a emocionar tanto de la nada?
Rayclast is a cursed land. You'd have to be mad to settle here.
Ok, tienes que estar loco para quedarte aquí.
Welcome to King's March.
¡King's March! Ayer le tenía razón.
Not yet. But with your help, we can erect the greatest city Rayclast has ever seen.
No es mucho todavía, pero vamos a hacer la mejor ciudad que Rayclast jamás ha visto.
Resources
Necesitamos recursos. Oh,
and savvy planning.
y planear muy bien. Oh, shit.
Soon
Pero-
we'll attract settlers, craftsmen,
¡Oh, Recombinators!
seekers,
¡Oh!
and of course, pirates.
¡Y piratas!
But if we prevail, our ships will be heavy with gold.
¡Oh!
We hope to achieve the impossible.
¡Oh, my God, dude!
We hope to build a
Oh.
home.
¡Oh, Dios! Respectea con oro. Hold on. Estado permanente. Warden Ascendancy Class. Gladiador Rework. Massive melee rebalance. Endgame improvements. Holy. ¡Ey! Eso era el Eco Gelatria también. ¡Ey! ¿What? Wait, what? Hold on, hey, hold on, dude. Rewind. What the fuck?
In Path of Exile, Settlers of Kalguur, you will encounter some familiar faces from the expedition.
Acepto
League.
Necrópolis. Está bien.
Danig,
Teníamos que sufrir un poco para recibir esto.
and
It's
Gwyn
fine.
are Kalguuran
It's
people
fine,
who
los
are
perdono.
trying to establish trade between Rayclast and their homeland. They have recruited many curious characters from Rayclast.
Reclutaron muchos
including some
personajes
you
de
may
Rayclast.
recognize,
¿Algunos
but are
los va a
also
reconocer?
seeking help of a powerful exile, like yourself.
Ok. Esta ayuda de ti.
You will first encounter Johan, the
Vamos a
King's
encontrar a
Hand
Johan.
in Lionized Watch. He's there recruiting workers, traders, and exiles.
A Johan le falta un dedo.
under the command of the King of Kalguur, has been sent here to build a new city called King's March.
Una nueva ciudad que se llama
intends
King's
to
March.
become the hub of commerce between Rayclast and Kalguur.
Quiere que sea el centro de comercio.
Soon, he will bring you to the planned site for King's March, which you'll notice has humble beginnings as just a tavern in a field.
Ok.
But with your help, it won't stay like this for long.
Es algo bastante tranqui por ahora.
The Kalguurans will ask you to seek out resources that can be used to
Hay que
begin
buscar
construction.
recursos para empezar las
On your
construcciones.
adventures, you might find minerals such as crimson iron, which are veins of iron that have been overrun with corruption,
Ok,
spawning dangerous foes
vas a
when you
conseguir cosas
approach.
ahí como hierro
Or
corrupto.
perhaps orichalcum, which you will have to liberate
¿Orichalcum?
from the demons worshipping it.
Que vas a tener que matar a demonios que lo están
Petrified amber
ayudando.
attracts mindless, blighted enemies. While
O
bismuth has a strong
cosa de
affinity
blight.
to the elements and causes the area to become unstable.
Bro, esto es
If you're
tan
lucky,
cool.
you might find vericium. A material as valuable as it is dangerous, and guarded by very powerful foes. Once you defeat these monsters, the deposit will automatically be tagged for mining.
Este
First,
material es muy
we need to
peligroso,
get
dice.
someone to do the hard labor.
Alguien tiene que hacer el trabajo duro.
This is of course a trade expedition and nothing is free.
Esto, por
Miners,
supuesto,
along
es
with
una
other workers
expedición
that
de
the
intercambios y
Kalguurans
nada es
have
gratis.
hired, must be paid in cold hard gold, which you'll notice is now dropping throughout Rayclast. You will have control about who gets
Ahora
hired
tenemos
into your
oro y esa es una
enterprise.
tincture. Esa es una tincture.
Once you have accumulated some gold,
La vi, esa es una
head to the
tincture.
town and talk to the recruiter, Rolf. He's been busy tracking down hardy folk across Rayclast who are looking for work. You'll notice each person has their specialties and a wage cost.
Ok, cada uno
It'll
tiene una
be up to
especialidad.
you to hire and fire as you please. Over the course of the league, you'll be searching for your perfect employees for each job.
Necesitas empleados para los
Once you
trabajos
have
que vas
them,
haciendo
you
y cada
have
uno
to
tiene una
keep them
especialidad.
paid, safe, and alive, which we'll get into later.
Tienes que mantenerlos a
Here we
salvo,
have a prospect who has a
pagarles y
specialty
tienen que
in
estar
mind.
vivos.
We'll start with that so we can begin to retrieve some of those resources we were talking about earlier.
Oh, necesitas un minero para sacar las cosas
Let's go find
de las
some
minas
ore
que consigas.
and put our miner to use.
Oh, esta liga va a ser God,
Oh, we
man.
found a vein of orichalcum ore. It's guarded
Okay.
by dangerous demons worshipping a
Ok,
strange shrine.
primero hay que matar a los demonios y
The
tienes
shrine
al tipo
buffs the
que
demons,
lo va a minar.
giving them power. But once you defeat them, you can seize that power for yourself. After that, we can tag the ore, and our mining specialist will get to work. Soon, we encounter a few more deposits,
Ok.
each with a different dangerous encounter. After you have tagged the mineral veins, your miners will get to work collecting resources in real time. They might take a while, but will continue whether you are logged in or not. The work can be sped up by hiring more or better miners.
Puedes
and by
adelantarlo
upgrading the
con
mining
mejores
station
trabajadores
back in
o con más
Kingsmarsh to
trabajadores.
equip them with advanced pickaxes.
Oh,
All right.
interesante.
Some time has passed and our miners have been able to get the resources back to town.
Listo.
We've also managed to collect
No
some
voy a
more
dormir
gold
durante
too.
4 meses.
We can now upgrade the town and build new structures. There's plenty of
Oh,
options.
shit.
We just need to decide where to start.
Tengo
I think
muchas
we'll
estructuras, pero
start
tengo
with
que
the
descubrir,
tavern,
tengo que decidir
the
dónde
beating
empezar.
heart of Kingsmarsh.
La
It can be
taberna es el primer
upgraded
lugar.
instantly to improve the recruiter's prospects. And you can find various important NPCs relaxing here. Next, we'll upgrade our mining station. You can upgrade this to improve the efficiency of your miners and allocate our newly hired workers to mining.
Ah, ok, entonces tienes como distintos
You will
lugares donde vas
eventually need a
mejorando las
smelter,
cosas
where
y
you can
los
send your
trabajadores
ore
están
to
ahí
turn into more
y son mejores
valuable
según cómo
bars.
sea el lugar, ¿no?
Then we have the Disenchanter, where you can bring
Disenchanter.
your magic, rare, or unique items to be added to a queue to be disenchanted over time.
Oh, tiras acá los ítems para que se desencanten.
The items will be broken down into thaumaturgic dust,
Se va a
a
convertir
new
en
resource used for
polvo
crafting and shipping.
y
We'll get
es
more
un
into that
recurso
later.
para craftear y
And
para
of course,
comerciar.
a town needs food. You could invest in farming, where you can select crops to grow and harvest. But don't worry, you won't be manually watering anything. Ah, the wonders of delegation.
De esta comida, pero tú
With
no vas a
all
tener
these
que
resources
plantar
piling
nada.
up,
Vas a delegar
there will
todo.
be excess that we can spend. Let's talk about rewards and settlers of Kalguur.
Oh, wow.
Eventually, you can build a harbor and establish shipping routes between a number of different Kalguuran
Oh,
and
puedes
Kalguur
establecer
ports for
rutas de
trade.
intercambio.
You'll be able to pile your acquired resources onto these ships and send them to a port of your choosing.
En Gamaku, bro,
Your
eso es
traders
para
will
Exile
haggle
2.
for the best deals.
Mientras más
Each
lejos
port
estás,
will
hay
return
mejores
specific
tratos.
rewards based on what you send them. They accept all types of resources,
¿Aceptan
but will have
todo?
a preferred type that they'll currently pay more for.
Ellos aceptan todo, pero los recursos preferidos son
And
los que
you'll want
te
to
van a
get
pagar
onto
mejor.
this, because eventually you could be bringing in shipments like this.
Oh,
This,
that's a lot of shit. 6 divines, ojo.
or even this.
¿Dónde está el Major? No lo veo. Ah.
Today,
Hey!
we're going to trade with Kalguur. You'll
Hey,
notice that as
I
we
mean,
send more
dude.
resources, this risk meter creeps up. Much like the dangers on the shores of Rayclast, there are dangers out at sea.
Oh.
Monsters, pirates, environmental hazards. You'll want to try keep your shipment safe.
Ok, entonces
You
no
can
quieres
do
que tenga
this by
demasiado
hiring
riesgo.
workers that specialize in shipping. The more of them you add to the ship, the less risk there will be.
mientras más shipping
Like this
tengas,
gentleman, who's
menos
famous for
riesgo hay.
fending off even the most dangerous of pirates.
Son como los guerreros en los
Now let's
barcos.
get that shipment going, and we'll continue exploring Ray class while we wait for its return.
Oh, wow.
This is the first Path of Exile League that experiments with true real-time mechanics.
Esta es la primera liga de
You
Path of
can
Exile
send
que
out shipments, go and have
experimenta
lunch,
con
and
mecánicas
come
de
back to your
tiempo
rewards.
real.
Many mechanics in the league work this way, so you'll always have some ongoing project or outcome to look forward to.
Muchas mecánicas de liga funcionan así, así que si vas a
When
tener un
your shipment
proyecto
has
en el que
returned
estás
or
interesado
met
de
its
que
demise,
termine.
you'll get notified, and at your leisure you can return to the town to collect your rewards. Our shipment returned safely, so let's go see what we got. Ooh, they've
Excelente.
sent us a unique item alongside our rewards, perhaps hoping to secure us
Gana
as a
War por
loyal
100% de tu
customer for
armadura
the
y
future.
evasión de tu body armor.
Aside from shipping, the Kalguurans are big on their technology. They have hired Isla, a familiar face from the Heist League.
De Haze,
She
¿ok?
is an engineer who the Kalguurans have employed for a very exciting purpose.
¿Qué está haciendo?
You're not the only one who understands how profitable running maps can be. Once at Endgame, Isla can help you build a series of Kalguuran-modified map devices.
Ella es una ingeniera que puede hacer
You can then put a
unos
queue of maps
artefactos de
into them.
Kalguuran.
If you've hired a few skilled Atlas runners,
No
they will put
way que los
themselves
puedes
to
mandar a
work
hacer mapas
running
por ti.
those maps for you, one after another. Look, more delegation.
Puedes
Once
poner a
again, you'll be
mapear
notified when the rewards are ready to be collected.
y lo hacen rápido, decía 1
You
minuto
can put lots of
40.
maps in the queue, so don't feel obliged to go back there all the time.
Oh
careful,
my
though.
god, puedo mapear
The
sin
difficulty of the
mapear.
map impacts the risk of your
Hideout
workers
Warrior,
perishing.
let's go.
Try to pick your best workers,
Y puedes tener
perhaps just
tanto.
ones you don't like. Consider the difficulty too. Sometimes it's better to just run it yourself.
Considera la dificultad porque a veces es
You'll
mejor
see
simplemente
there are
hacerlo tú
many
mismo.
benefits to having a whole-ass town at your fingertips.
Hay un gran beneficio de tener un
Let's
pueblo muy
talk
grande a
about crafting
tus
services.
al alcance de tus
You
dedos.
should definitely consider building a runesmithing table.
Deberías definitivamente
This is
ir a
operated
una
by
mesa de
Danik
crafteo de
himself,
runas.
using powerful Kalguuran blacksmithing arts. He can engrave runic magic onto your weapons using
Pueden
runes.
grabar runas en tus
There are
armas.
many rune types and combinations to choose from.
Okay.
And you can unlock new crafts that can be applied to your weapons as
Es
enchantments.
cualquier mierda, o sea, dice cualquier cosa. Tenemos
Our
que verlo
design
después.
intention here is to take powerful effects you would usually only find on unique items.
Oh, son cosas que
like
nada
this
más se consiguen en los
modifier,
únicos
which
que
you
los puedo
might
poner.
recognize from Doom Fletcher's Prism.
De 30 a
Danik can
50%
apply it to
de
your two-hand
weapon física,
maces.
las extra damage.
There are
Holy, es
over
un
100
enchant.
different special crafting outcomes, ranging from ones very easily applied to very difficult. The rune types can be
Oh,
acquired through
shit.
trade with Kalguur, or defeating powerful bosses.
Hicieron más o menos lo de la Zipoc.
The Kalguuran tech benefits don't end there. We're also bringing back a formerly overpowered crowd favorite.
Oh my god, sí.
Recombination. Isla is trying to master this. She just needs you to help her with getting resources.
Ahí la
The
está
system
tratando
isn't
de
as strong as it
masterizarlo,
used to
solo
be,
tiene que
but it
pagarle.
still allows you to combine two items together, hoping to get the best modifiers of each onto a single item.
Oh,
Between running a
god.
town, shipping, and exploring, you'll be collecting a lot of extra gold. It is now the primary resource for two huge new quality of life features that we are putting to test.
Esta mecánica es permanente.
Firstly, you can use gold to respec passive points.
Puedo
This
usar
is a
oro para
feature from Path of Exile
quitarte.
2 that we've decided just makes sense to port back.
Ok,
The
puedo
higher
usar
level
oro
you
para,
are,
para cambiar
the
tus
more
pasivos.
expensive it gets. And the next one is absolutely massive. A currency trade market. The Kalguurans have recruited Faustus, another NPC from the Heist League. He allows you to asynchronously buy and sell currency and most other stackable items with other players without
Con
the
otros
nuisance
jugadores.
of price fixes and people who never respond. All you need to do is select what currency you want. say
Tenemos
what you
Action
have,
House para
and
currency.
your ideal ratio.
Tenemos Action House para
It's kinda
currency.
like a real-life stock market.
Solo tomó
Faustus will
10
make the
años,
trade
pero lo
happen
tenemos,
for you,
boludo,
so
por
long as
fin.
there is someone selling on the other end for the
No
same
puede
rate.
ser.
as- You'll be able to go
Siento
back
que
to
no es
crafting
real.
monsters while trusty Faustus does the dirty work, notifying you when your currency is ready for collection. All you need to do
Todavía
is pay
mientras
him
no
a small
estás.
amount of
Miren,
gold for his
miren,
time.
todavía mientras no estás.
Cards on the table, This is an experiment to see if this type of asynchronous trading has a place in future Path of Exile releases.
Oh, por
We are
favor.
very excited to see how it goes.
Dice que esto va a ser un experimento para ver cómo
Now,
sale esto
given
para
that Faustus
próximos
is an
releases de
expert
Path of
in
Exile.
black market trade and shady deals,
Black market?
he also provides another service, offering items for gold.
Ok, gambas.
The items will generate with random rarity, and on average, the modifiers on them are better than normal. This can be a very nice way to get some targeted items during the campaign.
Ok, esto es
For serious
básicamente
crafters, it can be a great starting point for making
la
those
de
elusive
la tipa de esta
specific
expedition.
in-game items, which perhaps you could take to
Bueno.
the runesmith afterwards.
¡Ah, la mierda! Eso es un buen belt.
It's worth noting that you can invite Faustus to your hideout, where he will always be available for respecking, currency exchange, and black market
Y puede estar en tu
items.
hideout.
As your town grows, it
Sí.
will attract more attention, good and bad. Settlers of Kalguur features 3 endgame bosses that will close in on your operations.
Hay 3
wanting a
voces
piece
en
of the
esta
pie.
expansión.
They might capture and ransom your workers, even your entire ships.
Se pueden quedar con
You have
tu
to
barco
make
por
some tough
completo incluso.
decisions. Will you take them on or pay them off?
Puedes
One example of
pelear
a
con
boss
ellos
is
o
Sasar,
pagarles.
the Bandit Lord. You won't stumble across this boss by accident. Instead, this unsavory character can come into your town at night and take your Atlas runners hostage, holding them for ransom.
O el tipo
What
puede
happens
venir
next is up to you.
en la noche,
Perhaps you will
atacar a tu
refuse to
pueblo
negotiate with
y
bandits, leading to
secuestrar
fight
a las
to
personas
defeat
que hacen tus
Sasar and
atlas.
rescue your workers.
Tienes que pelear con él para rescatar
If
a
you run
los
up for the
trabajadores.
heroics, you might simply pay the ransom in gold. Or perhaps these workers were especially disappointing, and you'll just
No
leave them
puedes
for dead
abandonar.
in true
Quédate con
Ray-class
esta
fashion.
mierda.
They knew what they were signing up for, right?
Ellos sabían lo que estaban
Of course,
enfrentándose.
the heroics might be worth it for other reasons. These bosses can drop new unique items.
Nuevos uniques, ok. Big as shield. Block
In
es
sum,
blocky.
Settlers of Kalguur
Trigger
is a
socket
very
no B,
experimental
lo que decía.
league with new mechanics that will completely change how you play the core game.
Oh,
We've been
Dios.
sitting on a lot of these ideas for a while and can't wait to share them with you.
Oh my God.
But there's a lot more to this expansion.
Hay
Let's
mucho
talk
más.
about balance.
Jesus.
Well,
¿Alguien
we
sabe cómo
finally
adelantar una
rebalanced the
semana
gladiator.
rapidito?
It's been a long time coming. Like before, there are passive
Okay.
skills that allow you to invest in bleeding and block.
El bleed que
We've
aplicas
designed
es
new
agravado.
skills replacing some of the old ones.
El
Like
explode
this,
es el primer
War
punto.
of Attrition, which is very handy for long sustained boss fights. Further alongside the gladiator
Wow.
theme, this new passive allows you to combine different weapon types while dual
What is the
wielding
rating
to
on
get a
top of that?
variety of powerful bonuses.
Oh shit.
For example, holding a dagger will give you more critical strike chance,
More.
while holding a mace gives you more area of effect.
More
Of
área.
course, you could just use Varanastra for all weapon type bonuses.
Oh, Dios, la
And finally,
verdad.
we have a new notable which allows you to invest in the newly added retaliation skills.
Oh
These are
shit.
active skills which require you to meet a certain condition in order to
Skill
use
de
them. Once you meet that
retaliation.
condition, you can unleash devastation on your foes.
Cuando se cumplan
Here we
algunos.
have Eviscerate,
A ver.
which requires you to have a shield. Or for those who like to dual wield, Sword Storm, which is great for obliterating bosses.
Oh shit, that's a lot of damage.
Here we have the Divine Retribution skill.
Divine
This one
Retribution.
has the condition requiring you to block. You can then unleash a devastating spell, causing lightning bolts to strike the ground in an X shape around
O
your
sea, tú
target
cumples una
location,
condición y después puedes
doing
usar el skill.
huge amounts of damage.
Holy.
And of course, in true Path of Exile fashion, there are
Tenemos
many
nodos.
avenues to invest in these mechanics further on the passive tree and a new support gem.
10
You
de
are
rage
able
and
to
retaliation
increase the
skills.
leeway duration after meeting the condition, reduce the cooldowns,
Oh
or
my-
just increase their damage.
No me
The world
buffearon
view
el
is-
melee.
The Gladiator wasn't the only Ascendancy class we've changed. As we develop Path of Exile systems, we often find ourselves reusing mechanics, increasing their depth, and allowing more avenues to invest into them.
Ok,
As
¿qué más
such,
cambiaron?
the Raider Ascendancy
La
class
Raider.
found itself lacking, with many of its passives commonly available elsewhere.
Muchos
We
pasivos se
want our
encontraban en otras
Ascendancy
partes.
classes to always feel like they're pushing the boundaries, allowing you to change your character in ways that are meaningful
Claro.
and
La
ideally
idea
unique.
de las ascendencias es que se sientan que están rompiendo las barreras.
Removed the Raider, rest in peace. And we've added a new class in its place, the Warden. This class is largely inspired by its predecessor from the Affliction League,
Jesus.
with a few changes. The Warden now focuses on elemental attacks, changing the behavior of shock, enhancing freeze,
Oh,
and
shit.
replacing ignite with scorch.
Hay que leer muchas mierdas.
There's also a skill that allows you to go ballistic with your elemental damage.
Unbound
periodically.
Avatar Skill.
The class also grants Barkskin, which is a skill that can be used to mitigate physical damage from hits.
Bueno, Barskin es bueno al principio, está
After
bien.
taking a number of hits, it increases your evasion, making it a great defensive choice.
Okay.
Finally, the last thing the Warden can specialize in
The
is
tincture.
tinctures. These are an alternative to flasks from the Affliction League. We're bringing them back with adjusted mechanics.
Ok. Puedes tener un tincture
Tinctures
activo.
can be placed in your belt, replacing flasks. You can inherently only have one tincture active at a time, and it requires a melee weapon to use. While activated, they grant a powerful buff. They can drop as magic items,
Okay.
or be modified with currency to grant extra bonuses.
Oh, se pueden craftear.
Here is a prismatic tincture. This one increases elemental damage by 100% while active.
100% increase elemental
You'll
damage.
notice it has two extra effects. One is that it applies mana burn every second. Mana burn is a debuff that builds up while tinctures are active that causes you to lose mana, losing more mana for each stack. Tinctures also have a cooldown, so once you have disabled one, no other tincture can be enabled for a time.
Ok, o sea, no
These
puedes
changes
activar y
make
desactivar
tincture
una.
use a more active and interesting choice than it was in Affliction. Both mana burn and the cooldown can be modified through modifiers on the tinctures or on the passive skill tree.
Mana Burn lo que
Players
hace es que
will want to
gastes más
maximize
mana.
their tincture uptime for sure. Here we have a couple other tinctures.
A ver.
The Poisonberry tincture is excellent for poison builds. The Rosethorn tincture is the choice for those wanting to deal critical strikes. You might be wondering, with the removal of the Raider, where has the Frenzy Charge investment gone?
What is that?
We've added a Frenzy Charge passive skill
100%
to
more
the
accuracy
Deadeye,
por cada frenzy.
replacing the Rupture passive
Gana
skill.
una frenzy charge cada segundo mientras te mueves.
On top of Ascendancy classes, we have revisited a number of core mechanics. This time taking pains to ensure easy access through the passive tree, skill gems, and simple items. We don't want all the powerful mechanics to be hidden behind layers of complexity.
No queremos que todas las
Let's just
mecánicas
rapid
poderosas
fire
estén
through the
detrás
key
de
points.
complejidad.
If you want more detail later, you can read the patch notes, which will be dropped after the livestream.
Las patch notes van a
Be
estar
sure
después
to
del
let
livestream.
us know what you think. There's a lot of changes,
Hay
so be
muchos
prepared
cambios.
for a bit of a shock to the system. I expect it will take several days for the dust to settle on this one.
Él espera que pasen varios
Firstly,
días hasta que se
we've
coma.
made some drastic alterations to melee skills.
Mira el rip.
Let me just rip this band-aid off. Melee totem skill gems have been removed.
Bien. Bien.
We're trying to adopt a philosophy with melee going forward that, unlike other builds, it will be far less oriented around set and forget gameplay. You will deal the damage yourself, and you should be rewarded for doing so.
Exactamente.
To compensate, we have buffed the damage on almost every single melee
Bufeamos el
skill.
daño de prácticamente
As the
todos los
majority
skills de
of
melee.
this damage growth comes from gem levels, we have also made them cost more mana as they level, but it's nothing like the mana costs on spells.
Cuestan más
Here are
mana
some
a medida que
examples
levelean,
of the
pero no tienen
damage
nada que ver
and
con los
costs
spells.
before and after. Heavy Strike has gone from dealing 313% attack damage at gem level 20 to a
150.
massive 552% attack damage. It's also worth noting it
Cuesta
no
12 de
longer
mana.
knocks enemies back.
No los
And
empuja
Sweep
para atrás,
has
eso es
gone
bueno.
from dealing 281% attack damage to now dealing 664% attack damage at gem level 20.
Pero no da plano físico.
These are just two examples, but the majority of melee skills are now dealing approximately 75% more damage at level 20.
Hacen aproximadamente el
Of
75%
course,
más de
with
daño.
melee comes close proximity combat, so
Con melee
you need some good defensive options.
Hay proximidad de combate.
New base types with higher defensive values will now drop throughout the endgame.
Legion
As you
Blade.
reach yellow, red, and purple maps, you can expect to find
1000.
higher tier base types in each.
Son un montón de armadura, boludo.
For example, Val Regalia and Hubris Circlet are no longer the best in slot items for Energy Shield. There are new base types that surpass them.
Twilight Regalia.
Combined with some quality changes, which we'll talk about soon, You can now get better items than ever before
Tiene
in these
5.7 millones
slots.
de oro,
To compensate, we have reduced the amount of flat evasion and armor from the Grace and Determination auras. But overall, you're getting more defenses
Oh,
than before.
man. Voy a jugar a un string of string.
On top
Todo
of this,
momento.
we have buff life modifiers on magic and rare equipment.
Tier 1
You
da
can now get as high as
189 de vida en el
189
max
additional
roll.
maximum life from a single modifier on body armors, and more on other slots too.
That's insane,
Cal's
dude.
heart has also finally been restored to its former glory, and once again grants plus 1000 to maximum life.
RIP a los que están teniendo un
mentioned
Chaos Heart
quality.
Legacy.
Quality on weapons
Rip
and
el
armors
Chaos
is being
Heart
changed to apply
Legacy.
multiplicatively. In other words, weapons with full quality will give 20%
That's
more
what you
physical
get,
damage,
bitch.
and armor with full quality will have 20% more local defenses.
A la mierda, ¿vieron el
For
daño?
melee, this will mean a damage increase for almost all builds using physical damage attacks. And it will mean more evasion,
1022
armor,
energy
energy
shield.
shield, and ward for all builds.
Jesus.
Endurance charges no longer grant elemental resistances,
Durante
but
no da
instead
resistencia elemental.
grant additional elemental damage reduction, making it multiplicative
Damage
with
reduction, las
resistances.
endurance charges. That's
You
insane.
can now get 4% per charge, alongside
Damn.
the existing 4% physical damage reduction.
That's huge.
To compensate, we have made some changes to the Juggernaut, and various unique items like Eternal Damnation.
Que le hicieron al Juggernaut y el
You can
Eternal
get more
Damnation.
maximum resistances from the tree, specifically around the Marauder class start. These, of course, can stack with the new elemental mitigation from endurance
Tienes
charges.
dos de esos muy cerca, ¿eh?
On top of this, Jewels can now roll maximum elemental resistances as modifiers.
Máximo resistencia en una Jewel
Since we're
rara.
making elemental mitigation more accessible, we've heavily reduced accessibility to physical damage taken as chaos or elemental damage.
Pero
Those
nerfearon
stats
los
are
physical
still
taking
around,
as otra
but you
cosa.
should not expect to be getting full conversion anymore.
Uy, que es muy difícil conseguir full
All
conversion.
block
O no se puede
passives have
obtener
been
más, por lo que dijo.
So you can now more easily achieve block cap from just the passive tree.
Puedes tener block cap desde el passive
The
tree.
Keystone Versatile Combatant has been improved to have less of a penalty to maximum block.
Ok, ahora sí es buena.
A number of life leech passives have been buffed to generally allow for more acquisition of maximum leech rate for life.
Ok. That's a lo
Val
40%
Pact has
es
been
bastante.
reinstated to its former glory for instant life leech, but only for melee.
Solo
We've
para melee.
reworked Flesh and Stone. Previously, this buff skill granted Maim and Blind, depending on the stance of our character. Now, while in Sand stance, the skill simply provides damage mitigation,
10%
becoming more
less
effective
damage.
the closer you are to enemies. While in Blood stance, enemies will take more physical
Como
damage
que vamos a jugar
the closer
melee
you are to
starter,
them.
gente.
This skill will now greatly favor melee or close range gameplay. Given we're doing a Kalguuran League, Ward has also received a bit of attention.
¿Qué le hicieron a Ward?
There are new uniques that grant Ward,
¿Cómo
and the
Ward
base
va a ser OP de
restoration
nuevo?
of Ward is now faster. To compensate, Olroth's Resolve has been nerfed, but
Bien,
Ward
nerfearon a
builds
Olroth's
will
Resolve.
still be possible.
Dice que el Warlock va a ser
Anyway,
posible igual.
that was most of the purely defensive changes. Now let's look at some of the offensive and
Offensive.
utility-based
Oh,
ones.
here we go. My dick is so hard, dude.
There are more and better ways to deal with mana as an attacker on the southern hemisphere of the
Reduce,
passive tree.
reduce mana cost. Oh, yes. Oh, reduce mana cost, dude.
Wands, daggers,
Oh,
scepters,
dude.
claws, and staves now have higher critical strike
Cero
chance
mana cost
values than
incoming en
ever.
todos los builds.
Wands can go as high as 10% without modifiers.
10%
Sandstorm Visage
de
has
crit
been
chance
made rarer
base.
to compensate instead of reducing its power. For you wand attackers,
10%.
wands now have higher attack speed than ever to compensate for their low damage. Wand exclusive skills such as Power Siphon, Kinetic Bolt, and Kinetic Blast now have faster attack times.
Ok,
Impale
estamos
passives
con
have been
Wander.
revised and in general buffed.
Impale additional hit. 15%
The
impale
buffs
effect.
granted by Warcries are now simpler but more significant, and more universal to builds. They also now apply to allies by default.
Los walkers se aplican a los
Banners
aliados por
have been
defecto y son
reworked.
más simples, pero
Instead
más
of having a
poderosos.
reservation cost, they are now free. However, they don't grant a permanent buff.
Los War
Banners
Banners
now
son...
need to be placed for the effect to be active.
O el banner tienes que
However,
ponerlo.
once placed, they are far more powerful than before. Additionally, there are new ways to prolong the effects
Ok.
and more ways to invest in them than ever before.
Ok, el banner es medio.
Rage has been made more fundamental and discoverable. Rage is
No,
now
el Rage on
multiplicative
hit.
attack damage.
Ese es un
but
punto
no
chiquito,
longer
gente.
inherently grants attack speed or movement speed.
Only one
It
hit
has a new cap
en
and you
0,5
can find
segundos.
many new passive clusters that allow you to invest
Llega a
into the
decir que no
mechanic.
veía límites.
The goal is to make Rage more powerful as a baseline and less gated behind the use of specific unique items and Ascendancy classes.
Entonces, el Berserker, ¿qué onda?
Berserk has been nerfed, just so you're aware.
Me refiero al
We
Berserker.
have changed how bleed works too.
¿Pero cómo?
You can now find
Bleed?
aggravated bleed on the passive tree. When applied, all bleeds on the enemy will deal damage as if the enemy is moving for the remainder of their duration. The skill Ensnaring Arrow no longer
Okay,
interacts
bleed
with
bow
bleed,
incoming.
so no more will you have to apply bleeds and swap to a bow. You can now achieve the same result using aggravated bleed passives without the annoyance. Rupture from the Deadeye has been turned into a support gem.
Ooh.
We've added the new Overexertion support gem, which highly favors slam builds. Now, it's time to look at a hot topic, Magic Find.
Fuck him.
In the Settlers of Kalguur expansion,
Fuck
we're
'em.
going to be removing item quantity bonuses from all character items.
Fuck him.
This will not affect existing items in standard leagues.
No hay más
Magic
quantity en
Find
los
is
items.
intended
Fuck
to be
him.
another access on your gear you can scale once
Kaku
you have
in
achieved the
shambles.
power you want. With item quantity being only available on unique items, this meant if you wanted to get the most out of it, you had to be playing a very specific build. We still want people to be able to invest into Magic Find, but now only through item rarity.
Solo con rarity.
This can be
'em.
obtained on a number of rare item slots and by a much larger number of builds.
Okay.
What about Ventor's Gamble, you might ask? Here it is now. This is one of the biggest balance patches we've ever done. I can't promise that
Holy.
existing builds will all be safe. Even we aren't able to predict all the outcomes here, nor have we
Ni
even
siqui-
gone into every single change.
Ni siquiera
Just the
nosotros podemos
major
predecir todo lo
ones.
que va a pasar y no nos hemos enfocado
I
en
don't
todos
know,
los
man.
cambios. En otras
Balance
palabras,
is hard.
hey, it is what it is. No, todo va a estar roto
The
esta
sheer
liga.
number of new, viable options is exciting, especially for melee. And we're determined to drag the game in a better direction. Be sure to read the patch notes
Same
after
as
this.
usual.
It's going to
It's
be
what
a
you mean.
ruckus.
Same as usual.
In 3.24, we overhauled the in-game experience by introducing a new tier of maps and reworking scarabs.
No way, no
We
tier
want
de
to
mapas.
continue to improve these systems and introduce more
Ah, no, la
exciting
liga pasada,
in-game
perdón.
content every league.
Yeah, yeah.
3.25 is no exception.
Dude,
Let's check
my
out
dick
the
can only
myriad of
get
changes
so hard,
coming
dude.
in Settlers of Kalguur. First up, we are changing many scarabs.
bro, se me
We
pone
won't
más
go
dura y
into
me
too much
explota.
detail here to avoid getting lost in the weeds, but here's a few new ones. Be sure to
Nuevos
check out the
scarabs?
patch notes after this for more detail. We've also added an additional map device slot, which will be unlocked upon completing your first 10-way Maven encounter.
Ok,
This
cuando hacías tu
simply
primero
allows for
10
more
waves, te dan un
combinations of
nuevo map
scarabs
slot.
and maps, resulting in more difficulty and more rewards. This is on top of the existing additional slot that can be unlocked by completing
What happened? What happened? ¿Soy yo de nuevo? ¿Soy yo o es el stream? Wait, ¿soy yo? No, pareciera que
your
no.
first tier 17 map.
Mi
There
nieve.
are
Ok,
now
ok. It's
6
fine, it's
map
fine, it's fine.
device slots in total.
F5. Fuck.
You might have seen our
Internet
teaser,
porquería.
where we revealed we'll be adding new special encounters to the in-game. One such encounter is the Nameless Seer, lurking in tier 16 and 17 maps. This NPC will give you a selection of unique items, and you can pick one for free.
Ok, el Seer va a
In
aparecer
tier
en
16
mapas.
he now has an additional feature, where you can scry a map.
Scry a map.
This allows you to swap the divination card drops of the current map with another map on your atlas. Just one caveat. You cannot have the same map be in multiple swaps at the same time. If you want to undo your choice, you can use a scouring orb on either map on your atlas. We've also made some updates to a couple of leagues. Blight has been updated with some atlas passive skill changes,
Ok.
and double anointed amulets can now drop in Blight Ravaged maps. We've also introduced a new type of oil that can only drop from Blighted and Blight Ravaged
First and final
maps.
shot of our sequence here for Predator return to you.
Ritual has also been updated. You can now find one new
Oh,
and
shit.
many reworked base types, new unique items,
Oh, fuck. This is too much to see.
corpses you can use to raise as specters, and occasionally a fragment, granting access to the King in the Mist's boss fight from the Affliction League.
Oh! Y te
It
da
will drop a
la...
number of unique items that were familiar
Hold.
from the league,
Hold!
but not that which was taken,
Ah!
as it is
You
now that which was
motherfucker!
taken away. However, he now drops a different modular jewel that you might recognize from the Necropolis League.
Ah, o sea, la Brandos Pact tiene el icono de la
tier
tail which was
16 and
taken,
tier
que la
17
golpea
maps,
el boss
you can now
de
encounter
the
the
Affliction.
Wildwood, also from the Affliction League.
Ok.
In case you missed it, the Wildwood is a mysterious forest fraught with danger. In the darkness, you will find magical wisps yearning
Son
for
2000
freedom.
Wisp.
Upon releasing them, they will empower the monsters in your map, promising more danger
2500.
but more
Oye.
rewards. You may also find random sentinels on the ground near the start of your maps, from the Sentinel League. They work in a similar way to before. They aren't items, but you can click on them and then they can be activated in that area.
Oh,
at
funciona
any
nada más
time
en
of your
ese
choosing.
mapa.
Upon activation, they will buff monsters around you, increasing their difficulty and rewards. And here's one for those who like to live dangerously. You may occasionally find a reflective mist from the Kalandra League. It has two outcomes. It could drop a jewelry item with randomly enhanced or inverted modifier values,
Ok. O te puede dar la
it can
posibilidad
give
de
a
meter
reflecting
toda la
mist
pija,
item,
digo, el ítem.
which can be used on an existing piece of jewelry to perform the same action at a time of your
Oye, es
choosing.
una...
Good luck. There's many other small changes to
Oh
League
my
content.
god, dude.
We're removing the first
Oh
15
my God,
most boring areas
dude.
of the simulacrum and rebalancing its rewards to improve the chances of finding unique jewels.
Oh, dude, best league
We're
ever.
also adding some of the beasts from Einhar's Memory of Harvest Beasts to the core pool. This includes
Este-
the Black Morrigan.
De Black Morrigan ahora aparece simplemente...
In other news, we've added a set of new chisel types,
No
which can
chisels?
be applied to your maps to get different bonuses. While
Eso
the
no la veía venir.
Cartographer's chisel still increases item quantity,
Ok.
there are new ones that now increase rarity, pack size, increased chance for currency items,
Ok.
divination cards, and scarabs. It's
Wow.
also worth mentioning that chisels now apply 20% quality per chisel to white maps, 10% to yellow maps, and 5% to red maps and higher. Unique maps still require the full 20 chisels. Also,
Ok.
only one type of chisel can be
5% de
applied
los
to a map
rojos,
at a time.
10% de los amarillos, 20% de los blancos.
During 3.24, we made a change to Tier 17 maps that allowed them to be rerolled with Chaos Orbs. We are now expanding the currency types that can be used on them to also include currencies like chisels and Val Orbs. Ultimately, the only restriction Tier 17 maps now have is that explicit modifiers cannot be removed from them. We have also revised the difficulty of these maps, as they didn't quite hit the mark.
Ok.
The monsters in them now have substantially less life.
Tienen
and
mucha
deal less
menos vida los
damage,
monstruos acá
meaning
y
Tier
menos
17
daño.
maps now better fit into the progression between Pinnacle and Uber Pinnacle content.
Dice que son... Ahora encajan mejor.
Lastly,
I don't
we've
know, man.
adjusted the drop rate of Valdo's puzzle boxes. Previously,
Le puedes
we were
aplicar Val,
adapting its
Chisels
drop rate
y
based on
Caos
the
a los
possible
mapas 17.
outcomes selected by supporters. So many supporters really wanted Mage Bloods, so the box was hardly dropping. Thus, we have drastically increased the drop rate of the box, but reduced the probability of getting chase unique items from it, like Mage Blood.
Ok.
Overall,
que
we've
dijeron de-
taken care not to reduce the number of Mage Bloods total in the economy. We figured it was better to have more tickets for fun rather than barely seeing any boxes in a league. We've
Okay.
been hard at work improving the
Nice.
Path of Exile experience on consoles.
Más Misha
With
referencia.
native ports for the Xbox Series consoles already being released, and PS5 on the near horizon, the game now takes full advantage of the console hardware.
Ok.
Loading times have been reduced even further, pop-in has been reduced, and textures won't start unloading in heavy scenes.
Ok, cosas de
Furthermore,
consola.
Overall visual fidelity has been improved for all new generation consoles. Path of Exile now uses the highest available resolution textures and water effects. We've installed a new upscaling algorithm that improves the crispness of dynamic resolution,
Ok.
with an additional anti-aliasing pass on top of that. With these upgrades, we also support variable refresh rate TVs and monitors on PlayStation 5 and on all Xbox consoles. In the options, players can now choose which aspect of visual fidelity
Y
they
también
want to
tienes
focus
esto,
on.
aunque no estés usando consola,
Resolution,
ojo.
image quality,
Pues lo vimos
or
ahorita.
target frame rate. In 3.24, we added some new encounters and secrets to the campaign. In Settlers of Kalguur, we're adding even more. We're not going to spoil them all here, but keep an eye out for anything unfamiliar on your adventures.
Pusieron nuevas cosas en la campaña que no van a
Who
spoiler a
knows what
todos.
you'll find? I mean, I know, but still. There's an underground bunker underneath the refinery,
Hay un
guarded
búnker en
by
la
powerful
refinería.
robots. I wonder what's been hidden away here. How do I unlock this mysterious door? What riches must lay inside? Blighted growths have appeared in the gardens and sewers of San. A vault containing riches can be found in the reliquary.
El relicuario, ok.
As you might have seen in our teasers, there's a slew of quality of life features we've been working on.
Alright.
Here's a quick summary. You'll no longer need to interact with waypoints
Esto
to
es lo que
unlock
habían dicho
them.
previamente.
You can just walk by
Ya más o menos
and
lo
they'll
tenemos.
activate automatically.
Pero, holy
when using
dude.
keyboard and mouse, you'll be able to pick up items from further away. We're adding static life bars to some bosses. Not all bosses will have them just yet, but we'll be adding more over time.
Bro,
You
literalmente
can
yo
now
tengo un
see
dom
which
de
divination
adrenalina.
cards drop in each map by hovering over them on your atlas. When you die,
Jesus.
you can now resurrect without having to reactivate all your reservation effects.
Estaba hablando de lo que ya
auras
vimos en las
and
Quality of
heralds.
Life y todo esto, pero... ¡Ah, la
You can start
mierda!
harvest encounters with just a single
Bro,
action.
literalmente estaban cocinando.
The amount of quality provided by currency items like whetstones is now based on the item level, rather than item rarity. Those currencies now apply a 20% quality to very low-level items. With that amount
Eso es todo el tema
reducing
Liga.
as the item
Antes del
level
2 hay mucho
increases.
contenido de Liga. I don't know, man. Puede
Next
ser.
up, we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs.
Ok.
Today,
Let's see
we're
it.
launching two new series of supporter packs, the Paladin and Penance packs.
El Paladín y el
Each tier contains
Penance.
the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions.
Ok, let's see it.
These packs
Toma
are only
dinero, no tengo
available
dinero,
for the
pero si lo
duration
tuviera
of the
se te lo daría.
Settlers of Kalguur League, and will leave the store forever when it ends. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way.
Ok, let's see.
The Paladin series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Adorn your weapon or shield with the Paladin weapon effect.
Ok.
Make a show of leveling up with the Harpy Flyover level up effect.
Ah, es como la vaina de los
Equipping the
casas.
Divine Paladin armor set will periodically cause slain enemies to be consecrated and laid to rest. This set also comes with a matching back attachment.
Ah, no se ve
Both the
cool.
helmet and back attachment have options to display the radiant glow, or not. You pick.
Ok, luce cool.
The Divine Judgment finisher effect locks onto unique enemies before obliterating them with a laser from the heavens.
Ah, es un finisher
May
que se
your
ve cool.
critical hits resonate across Rayclast with the Cleric's Bell back attachment.
¿Cómo hacerla si tengo 15 proyectiles?
Invite your friends to spend a day at the races in the Vasteri Racecourse hideout. Add rowers to the track to race them against each other. Or you can just spectate from the sidelines.
Oh. Apuestas
The
ilegales.
Penance Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Damn, esto se ve muy cool.
With the Penance back attachment equipped, a
¿Tienes a
repentant
Jesús?
soul is chained to your back and lashed with lightning. Ouch. Place none
Okay.
other than the Trial Master in your hideout and have him comment on your chaos
A classic, but far fairer now than in ancient times.
and Val crafting attempts.
Your luck is over, fool.
He even keeps a record of how many Chaos and Val orbs you've used in your hideout during the league
Okay.
or across all leagues.
I like it. I like it.
Blood stains
Pues
your
raro
armor the
tenerlo
more
en el
likely
hideout y que me
wounds
esté
when
insultando cada vez que lo
wearing the
consigo.
Acolyte's Penance armor set.
Oh, dang, este es gory. I like it.
The Zealot's Madness portal effect fragments as you near it. The Cauldron map device boils maps, fragments, and scarabs placed into it, keeping a tally of how many have been thrown into the pot in the current league or across all leagues.
Oh, o sea, te toma todo lo que has gastado.
Exiled Squire pets follow in your footsteps, hyping you up for battles
No sweat for you, boss.
Providing pessimistic commentary.
Un tipo que dice huevonadas.
For you to bring you down a peg.
Bro, ahí está ebrio, es un tipo con una botella. Que es un loquito que te sigue. Tú estás pagando para que un loquito te siga. Para que un loquito te siga y te diga huevonada.
Meanwhile, the Solar and Eldritch packs leave the store forever at the launch of Settlers of Kalguur League. So now's your last chance to purchase them. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
Ese está regón, obvio que lo tiene que decir Rimo. Una cosa más que anunciar, a ver.
We are soon going to be running a small closed beta test for Path of Exile 2. We have been taking signups for the Path of Exile 2 beta tests over at pathofexile2.com. We will only be selecting a very limited number of people for this first test, but if you want to make sure that you are considered, then head over to the website and register your email address now.
Again, pero ya lo había hecho.
We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post Path of Exile Settlers of Kalguur's full patch notes. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for Settlers of Kalguur's release. Keep an eye on the news. On release weekend, we expect to launch the new mystery box and this season's Kerax Vault Pass.
What is this?
Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to building our towns alongside you, trying new builds, slaying monsters, and exploring new endgame strategies next week. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
Ok, hoy no creo que vayamos a teorizar ningún build. Hoy yo creo que vamos a tratar de analizar toda la info. Porque, holy fucking shit. What the fuck, man. Una locura.